All right, all right. What's up with y'all? Polo Sports Talking Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notification so that you're able to get all of my content, all of my videos. Stephen Green in here first, man. I see you in the building, bro. Hey, look, bro. Hey, you said the Sixers are starting off good in the first period. Then the Sixers, our Sixers, not just your Sixers, our Sixers, man. What's up with it, Memphis? I see you in the building, man. Man, where you been, bro? Man, dude, man, you don't mess with your boy no more. It's all good though, Memphis, man. Salute to you, man. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get right to it, man. And let's go ahead and cook on this, man. I'm gonna cook on this, and of course, I'm gonna cook on the Mavericks in just a minute, man. And then, of course, um, if you feel like saying something, then I'll let you in. I'm not gonna let you in here, man. If you plan on being on here, 2 3 minutes, and then you're gonna fall off or anything like that. If you plan on coming in here and having legit conversation and legit dialogue, uh, not falling asleep on the panel and all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Then okay, uh, I'll have that. But if you're coming in here, man, and you're not gonna talk, uh, you're gonna fall asleep and you don't have nothing to say or anything like that, then just please just do me a favor. Don't even hit that link, okay? Because that's not how I rock right here, okay? Um, I want to give a shout out to the LDBC, Lions Den basketball, and as well as boxing community. Um, but particularly, man, I want to give a shout out to Ticket TV, okay? Ticket TV and Pro Basketball Update. I also want to give a shout out to Two Raw. I want to give a shout out to Two Raw for TV and Two Raw for sports too as well. Um, these brothers right here, as well as myself, has been telling you constantly about James Harden, and now they want to go ahead. Well, the mainstream media, they want to go ahead and they want to try to use us as a carbon copy to steal their talking points to use in reference to James Harden. Okay, now look, and like Stephen Green has said, okay, we started off extremely, extremely good in the first half. As a matter of fact, I was pleased with the play of DeAndre Jordan. Okay, DeAndre Jordan, he started off well. He was trying to come with vintage, vintage DeAndre Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Not the DeAndre Jordan that we see now. That's a shell of himself, or whatever, right? Of course, that didn't last that long, you know, and he only played, a few minutes. Um, you know, what we have to understand, man, is that they were on cruise control pretty much the whole game. When we talk about the Miami Heat, of course, they defeated us essentially 119 to 103. Uh, it was Bam and buckets, Jim, aka Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler had 22 and 12. Bam had 23. Tyler Hero, six man of the year, had 18, 7. And Victor Oladipo, coming out of nowhere, had 19. He was even getting off on us. Uh, Tyrese Maxey, who the offense should run through. I stand on that. And like I told people, he had 34. Only had one assist, though. James Harden, who I'm gonna talk about in just a second. He had 20 and 9, and Tobias Harris had 21, but it just was not enough. We just don't have no firepower. We're not deep, and we're not athletic at all. The only guys that are somewhat athletic is Maxi Thibault. You know what I'm saying? Who Thibault has got to step it up, especially on his offense. But he's mainly a defensive guy. Um, But I like the way that we played in the first. I would say in the first half. But as always, the game got away from us. We were, you know, you know, everybody's talking about how James Harden is just this great guy that's going to rise from what he was when he was in Houston and stuff like that. And look, I've been telling you time and time again, okay? Uh, James Harden is 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 not a guy that's going to get you to the promised land. Okay? He's just not. All right? Now, he never while he could carry a team in the regular season and get you buckets and 60-point triple doubles and stuff like that, he's not going to be able to do that. Now they were pretty much baiting him the whole night, setting traps for Harden because he's so predictable and so easy to read, much like Luka is too. So with guys like that are predictable and easy to read, and they dribble, trying to dribble through traffic because he had 3 turnovers yesterday as well. Um, because he led our team in turnovers. It's going to be easy work the whole entire night. It's going to be lunch. It's going to be dinner. It's going to be breakfast. It's going to be midnight snack. It's going to be daytime snack. It's going to be all of that wrapped into one. He's not that guy that's going to get you over any type of hump. You said Embiid coming back, so maybe that'll help. No, that's not going to help. That's not going to help, man. Stephen Green, it's not going to help. Joel Embiid has got to be, Joel Embiid has to be 100%. But even then, having Joel Embiid, that's going to help us and everything from putting points on the board. But that's not going to get you good quality wins. It's not all about just scoring points, though. We got to be solid defensively. Miami is a top level defensive team, and like you said, PJ Tucker, he knows James Harden. He reads James Harden like a book, and PJ Tucker, even at his older age that he's at, he could defend the best of them. So I know people want to get their hopes up about Joel Embiid. Oh yeah, man, Joel Embiid is coming back. Look, Joel Embiid. Honestly, you should just go ahead and just sit your ass down, man, and get better. Okay, let's just call it what it is. You should just sit your ass down and get better. You know, but everybody wants him to magically come and appear here and take over. It's not going to happen. Not with a hybrid team like a Miami Heat. And to be honest with you, they sort of mirror the style that the Phoenix Suns are playing. You know, they mirror their styles. You got to think about it. They got guys that could come off the bench that could get you 20. They got guys in the starting lineup that could get you 20. They're solid defensively. They're scrappy, but also at the same token, they're able to be, flamboyant and make it look pretty too as well. Okay. And that's sort of like what teams like Boston and the Bucks. I would say in the first game and at the beginning of the playoffs, they make defense look very pretty, and that's just what we're not doing. We look like a JV team in comparison to the Miami Heat. This is not a good matchup at all. This is it's like they'll start off good playing in the first half. They'll play phenomenal. You think we turn the corner, and then next thing you know, guess what? It's all she wrote. You said Harden problem is he is looking to get calls go his way. Jordan is washed up. Well, yeah, Jordan, but you know what? I'm not gonna put a lot of that on Jordan. You know who I put that on? Stephen Green. I give a lot of that grief to a guy, in Doc Rivers. Listen, Doc Rivers. This is another problem too. I don't know if you had seen that, Stephen Green, and I don't know if you saw this in the game. Doc Rivers was yelling at Maxey. He was getting on Maxey when Maxey wasn't the problem on one play. There was a play in which it was I think it was might have been I forgot whose fault it was, but Maxey was like wide open. Maxey was like wide open, and Doc was yelling at him. Doc is finished in Philly. Uh, Doc does need to go as a coach, and we do need to clean up our roster. And James Harden is not he's the guy that wants to just stick around and ride the bus, so to speak. They talk about all this, Kevin Durant, calling Charles Barkley, riding the bus and all this other stuff. What you think James Harden is doing? And if he's riding the bus, hey, he's getting further and further back on that motherfucker. Okay, you said Maxi is our future and create play, but I've been saying, Steven, everything that you're saying, I've already said this before, and I said this, but nobody wanted to listen to me. Everybody wanted to see how this was going to be such a phenomenal. Like I was trying to tell the brother Jacob Jennings, shout out to him. Look, it you might look at Harden as this superior scorer and putting up all these buckets and stuff like that, but that's not going to get you wins. That's not what we want. That's not what Sixers fans want. Okay, they know that we are turnover prone. They know that we are incapable of capitalizing on the on our key mistakes. Our our weaknesses continue to get exploited as a team. Okay, as a team, Miami shot 51.3%. Okay, and they also shot 48.3% from 3 pointers. You know what we shot from 3 pointers? You know what we shot for 3 pointers, Stephen Green? Take a wild guess, man. We shot 26.3%, man. 26.3%. That's what we shot. That's what we shot. 26.3% in comparison to 48%, man. That's ridiculous. They checked off on us on every I would say with the they beat us in the rebounding department. Okay? They beat us in the rebounding department. They out defended us. You we did okay in terms of getting a few steals here and there, but they didn't really need to do anything if their offense was flowing for them. Tobias Harris and Niang, who's not getting enough problems, and Paul Reed. I think Paul Reed needs a lot more time. I don't know why Doc Rivers won't just go ahead and just put Reed in place for DeAndre Jordan. I mean, he's 6'9" and he's athletic. Cause I did watch him coming out of DePaul. I mean, this guy right here, man, Doc Rivers, it's like he looks at him as something. He's like, oh, well, you're not Joel Embiid. I don't look at it like that. I absolutely don't look at it like that. The only thing great about us, our stat line, was our free throw shooting. That's about it. That's about it. That's about it. Other than that, our stats are irrelevant if we beat them in the category. You know why? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. They still got the dub. So if you're a numbers guy, you're gonna be very very offended. That's unacceptable. Yeah. Well, we'll have to see, Stephen Green. There's a lot of stuff that's about to take place in terms of coaching. Um, you know, we know that Mark Jackson. We know about that situation. Uh, Phil is heavy aggressive with this selection process over there with the Lakers. So I don't like look Sam Cassell. I want him there, but it doesn't just start with Sam Cassell. We are going to need more firepower off of our bench. Like, understand, great teams they have a phenomenal bench. You said Daryl Morey should get a nice Father's Day gift and Christmas gift for his love of James Harden. You something else, Memphis. You said Damon Stoudemire would be a good fit. What's up with it, Tay Got? Um, yeah, Damon Stoudemire would be all right, but he's got to be. I mean, if they're gonna throw a guy like Nash right in there, right to the wolves, and he hasn't really had no coaching experience or whatever, then definitely so. Damon Stoudemire, but no, Sam Cassell, I think is a better fit. I've been calling for Sam Cassell for quite some time. Matter of fact, I thought Sam Cassell should have been the Clippers coach at one point in time because he was over there with Doc with the Clippers or whatnot. So, but yeah, I want Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell is my first choice. You know, you got a guy in Maxi who I feel would be able to relate to Sam Cassell, being that he was a what's up with it, Sterling? I see you in the building. You got a guy in Maxi that would be able to relate to a guy like Sam Cassell. Sam Cassell was a part of a championship team when he was with H Town. Okay, he was a point guard in the league for quite some time, and okay, although he wasn't a superstar or anything like that, he played the point guard position very well. And on top of that, he's an intelligent individual, and he's been in big games too, and he knows what it takes to win in this league. That's not taking anything away from Doc Rivers, but guess what? Doc Rivers, he didn't win a championship as a as a player. No, 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 no. Okay, you said Maury Trainwreck, the Sixers. He had not went out and got, but no. But wait a minute though. Wait a minute, Memphis. You already capping this morning. You know why? Because you told everybody that this was such a damn great move. Now you don't want to keep that same energy. Come on, man. You gotta like. I know you've been gone for a while and everything like that, but don't think I forgot about what you had said. Okay. You got to keep that same energy. You was one of the main ones talking about, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. This is a good move, man. Harden, da 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 da. Shaq and Kobe, all this other nonsense that we know that was cap. That Two Raw had told you about. That Ticket had told you about. That LB had told you about. Everybody, even T Price, everybody knew that this was not gonna happen and going to be that beneficial. And then no, Niang, well, that's cap Memphis, okay? Because you first and foremost, you need to worry about your Spurs, okay? You need to worry about your Spurs because y'all are in disarray. Y'all got a guy, a superstar that y'all don't even know how to use. But I give y'all props, y'all did outdo the Lakers. Niang and Reed should start, okay? Niang and Reed should start. Take DeAndre Jordan out of there. Hey, look, and I know some people probably gonna trip out when I say this. Get Harden out of there, or Green. And I like Danny Green. What he's doing what he can and everything, but I mean, we tried everything that we can, but listen, it's too little, too late. Okay, it's too little, too late. Too little, too late. Green is incapable. You know what? Let me ask you this. You're saying that he. Okay, let's tackle that, Memphis. Right? Let's tackle that because I know when I bring you on here, you're gonna talk about, oh yeah, well my phone is messed up and all this other stuff. So I'm gonna leave you right there for just a minute or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't want to hear the facts, right? But you're talking about Niang should not start, right? Niang shot 50% yesterday. You know what Danny Green shot? You know what Danny Green shot? Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess what Danny Green shot yesterday. Take a wild guess. Take a wild guess, and you're going to be you're going to be very, very disappointed in your statement after I tell you. Guess what he shot, Memphis? Guess what he shot? Guess what he shot? Guess what he shot, Memphis? You talking about he shouldn't start. Guess what he shot? No, he shot 10%. Thank you, Stephen Green. 10%. He was 1 of 9 yesterday. 1 of 10. I'm sorry. 1 of 10. Your phone working? Now, you said I knew it wasn't going to work because Harden and Rivers connection didn't work, plus Harden. Thank you, Sterling. Hey, I thank you for pointing that out. Now, Sterling, hey, look, we've been talking about it for a while. Listen, he's one of the ones that pointed out, Harden's shooting deficiency, Harden's turnovers. Y'all look at the glory and the praise of this guy and everything. And look, hey, I'm not going to take anything away from Harden. He's a tremendous talent. But ever since he went to Houston, after Mikal was gone, I knew it was going to go downhill. It wasn't going to work for him anymore because James Harden is not. He's not a guy that's going to be focused. Matter of fact, even though him and Luka they play similar style games, Luka has more of the upside because I believe that Luka it's going to be a learning process for Luka. Luka has lost some weight and everything, which I'm gonna talk about Luka in just in a few minutes and everything. But check this out though, Luka is it's a learning process for him. Luka just has to learn how to play both ends of the floor. Luka, the difference between him and Harden is that Luka is at least trying to learn something. James Harden consistently does the same thing. He consistently inconsistent, as I told Mr. Mass at one time. Shout out to Mr. Mass. So you're telling me, uh, Memphis, I don't get on here, and you should know me. I mean, I don't know where you've been at, or uh, where you've been chilling at. I know it's Cinco de Mayo. You might have been drinking, might have had a couple of shots of tequila and all that. But I don't just regurgitate bullshit. Okay, this is something that I'm looking at. We're shooting 26% as a team. Okay, 26% as a team. Thibault did not. Thibault didn't even score, and he was constantly listen. And Thibault is one of the better defenders in the league, but right now he hasn't shown it. What's up, Robert Bruce? I see you in the building. You said I don't even think Mike D'Antoni wants to coach James Harden anymore. He knows he's washed up. Well, listen, this is gonna surprise you. What I'm about to say, Ted Cox. Okay, this is gonna surprise you. What I'm about to say. James Harden actually can still play. It's just he chooses not to put the work in. I don't want to hear about all this. Oh, he's washed up. James Harden can still play if he wants to. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, right? In the off season, James Harden's going to be. at one of these three places. And you're gonna be like, what the hell? He's gonna be at Rico Hines in LA in the summer, hooping. Okay. He's gonna be out somewhere in at UCLA hooping. Well, that's the same place. Poly Pavilion hooping, where he's from. You know, LA, Compton, Inglewood, nigga, what, all that, right? Or he's gonna be in the Drew League, and like the James Harden that initially came out of Arizona State, the James Harden that's from Compton, you know, that Compton mentality is no excuse, just produce. And I'm sorry, DeMar DeRozan and James Harden aren't showing that. No excuse, just produce. Brent, I see you in the building, man. What's up with it? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing, Memphis. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. He was 0-1, man. He hit two free throws. That's about it. Shake Milton. I'm. Hey, look, and I like Shake, man, but it's time for Shake to go. I mean, he really didn't. He didn't even play really. It's time for him to go. It's time for him to go, man. We listen. Now we're in a bad position, right? But see, Brent, this is what I try to tell people. Yeah, Memphis. Listen, I'm not just telling you that, Memphis. You know how I rock, man, and I know it's hard for you to hear, but I'm not really, and I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of the guys in the LWC and some of these guys that come here, they know that I'm not all about numbers. I don't rely on numbers and analytics and metrics and stuff like that. But I mean, it is telling a story with us. But I've been telling people about Maxi. I've told Sterling Young about Maxi. People like, oh man, nah, man, he's not better than Harden, and he's not better. Yes, he is. Right now, he's the only one that's scoring. He led everybody in scoring, but not only is he not the only one that's scoring, he's the one that's giving you beneficial quality play, and he has a better assist to turnover ratio than Harden. Harden feels that the team should work and set back and chill. No, absolutely not. And see, I told people from the beginning that listen, everybody's talking about listen. Two Raw for TV brought up a good point. All right, Two Raw said this. Shout out to Two Raw. Shout out to Big Mike. Okay, Two Raw for TV said this. Okay, he said, "Wow, we were supposed to be an upgrade from Ben Simmons. How is it an upgrade and we about to get our asses bounced out in the second round? Same thing that we did last year, and we were a first seed last year. How about those apples? Come on, we got to stop it, man. And then on top of that, we gave away our future. I said that in the beginning. Go back and go listen to the streams, which I know some of you are not going to. Do you think Philly is going to give? Absolutely not, man. Absolutely not. And if he does, man, listen. I'm gonna be highly pissed off because if he should get a max, and why you think everybody doesn't want to side with the players when the CBA comes? I don't want to side with the players. And look, the owners and the GMs and stuff. Look, they're not. I know that there's some messed up guys in those front offices. Some of them guys have never touched a ball. But at the same token, they want to put a good product on the floor and they want their business to sell. And not only that, they don't want to fail neither. They want to be successful. We're talking about 2001 since the last time we've been to an NBA Finals. That's 20 plus years. All these other teams that you're looking at, they're actually showing prominence. Memphis is showing prominence, right? Phoenix is showing prominence. They got to the finals after I think it was forget how many years a drought it was. I think 19 years, if I'm not mistaken. In 19 years, yeah. But um, because they didn't get to the final since '93. But I mean, either way, they're showing prominence. Uh, trying to think. Boston. They're consistently going back. Listen, Boston has a better resume. Tatum has a better resume than Embiid in terms of playoff play. Because Tatum and Jalen Brown, those guys are getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. But they always shit on Boston. They're always talking about, oh yeah, that's why like when True the King comes on or whatever, you got to give True the King his props because he's trying to tell people, okay, what have these other teams done in the last several years? Yeah, Boston may have lost. They may have lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, but they've gotten there. They've gotten there twice. And I know we're gonna talk about the bubble. Oh, the bubble don't count and all this other stuff. Look, it's in the books. They're not gonna look at the bubble years later. You said my biggest question is why Doc Rivers leave Embiid in the game up down 29 points. I have no idea, and we've been asking that. Me and Stephen Green been asking that for quite some time. But I stand on this though, Memphis. I don't. Pascal Siakam didn't mean to do that though. Pascal Siakam's not that type of player. Okay, we could see if it was Marquise Morris or something that happened to the effect of what Dylan Brooks did to Gary Payton, Gary Payton II, something like that, or even Grayson Allen, but not Pascal Siakam, man. Of course, I mean we're not um, we're not capable of doing anything. We're predictable. Okay, now let's speaking of predictable, let's get to the next game. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and invite you in. I know Memphis is gonna come in here. He as soon as you call him out, then that's when he's gonna try to ease his way out of here. So I'm already expecting it. I'm already expecting it. But I put the link in there. But now the next game, okay, with Phoenix and with Dallas, okay. Look, I told people time and time again, all right. Luka is a dynamic player, and I've actually vouched for Luka. I don't want to hear any of this stuff about, oh well, Luka doesn't have any help. Luka has plenty of help. He has plenty of help. But when you're predictable, and the only thing that you pretty much can do is put up buckets, and they know how to read you, they know how to defend you, they know where you're going, they've been watching film on you, and then on top of that, y'all don't have the energy necessary to match with them. I'm not talking about just through maybe a couple minutes in the game, but I'm talking about throughout the whole entire game. Then what are you good for? What are you good for? Guys like Monty Williams, guys like Ima Udoka, these guys are, they can be tactical and they can be strategic, right? And they have all these game plans set up on Luka that y'all not even seeing, right? I could tell you why he's being so exploited is because the Phoenix Suns are constantly being in drop coverage. I said that last time. All right, and that was something that I noticed as well as Brendan Hayward noticed too. And Brendan Hayward was used to be played at UNC, but he's an analyst now. This is sad, Polo. Your team don't deserve this. Well, hey, I'll put it to you like this, Lou. I told people, and shout out to Lou too. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Lou the Writer. When Harden came, we lost our identity, and I know some people they're gonna be like, yeah, that's cap. No, it's not cap. Because let me tell you why. People are always talking about, oh yeah, well, uh, the best. They push this narrative out there. Well, really, it was Kendrick Perkins talking about the best duo since Kobe and Shaq and all this other stuff. Like putting silly ass narrative talking about, oh yeah, well, uh, Kyrie and KD, not Kendrick Perkins, but everybody else, like T Mac was saying, they're the best skill. Listen, that don't mean nothing. Talent is not gonna. It's only gonna take you so far, but you gotta have muscle with it. You gotta have muscle with it, and you gotta have. Listen, a car has to run because of different parts and different components of the engine. Okay, you got to have an alternator in order, to have, your battery working. Your transmission got to be good in order to, for you to switch gears good. Okay, you got to have a crankshaft, right? You understand? You gotta have all these different moving parts. You got to get your maintenance done. You got to have your tune up. You got to have your oil changes. You got to get have make sure that your tires are good. You got to make sure that your brakes are good. What the problem is with Dallas is you're so concerned about Luka, 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 Luka. We might as well call him Luka and the Temptations, David Ruffin and the Temptations. It's like having a car and you so concerned with how it looks, washing it and detailing it and all that other stuff, but your engine is full of shit. It don't run that good. You said Jaylen Brown is questionable for the game. I think Derek White needs to step up and start scoring. No, Derek White is doing a phenomenal job. He's doing good on defense. Playoff basketball is not all primarily indicative of just scoring. I disagree with you on that, Robert Bruce. You say I see Luka in the game is getting better in the playoffs and learning growth for Luka. No, he's not Stephen Green. He's got a lot more to learn. I disagree with you on that. Uh, Robert Bruce, you said Udoka learned under one of the best coaches. Yeah, of course we know that. We have two guys in Budenholzer and as well as Ama Udoka um, under the regime. You said Luka is too ball dominant, can't win like that. Exactly, that's what I've been saying the whole time. He'll start off the game dribbling and doing what's necessary, playmaking and stuff like that. But at the same token, he doesn't. It's not about how you start; it's about how you finish. Hold on one second, guys. like I said, as long as Luka keeps playing the way that he's playing or whatever, and listen, don't get me wrong, he can score, but as long as he keeps playing the way that he's playing, they'll, he'll be more and more predictable each year. Now it is going to be a learning process for him though. Now has he gotten better, somewhat better in terms of his defense? Yeah, he's trying to make semi effort, but he still will not come off the ball. He still wants to be ball dominant, and that's what Phoenix wants. They love that. They could have a field day with that. They actually applaud that, and that's their strategy. Hold on one second, you guys. Nah, he just he's questionable right now. He's questionable right now. Like he's having hamstring issues or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But he got hurt earlier in the playoffs too as well. Yeah, I mean, if you do that, that would be a risk that you are taking. Now, I don't. I think I'm because you got to realize that Marcus Smart is out too. I don't think a lot of people realize that Marcus Smart was out too. Um, you know, but he also had he had another injury take place too as well early in the season. Yeah. Hey, listen. He had an ankle injury earlier this season. Remember that? I know you probably remember that, Robert Bruce, but he had a injury. It was earlier this season, man. So and that was I think that was I think it was against the Hawks when they played the Hawks. It was in March. But as I said before, and I see Memphis and some of these other guys they got up out of here because they wanted they didn't want, I guess they didn't want to continue talking about what they thought that they were going to be right about, which was James Harden and Embiid being this so successful duo. But I mean, you said Tatum needs to step up offensively because he's playing good defense. No, what are you talking about? Tatum had a superb game last game. He had 30 last game. Listen, Tatum has done way better than what he did in the beginning of the season. Nah, that's I can't go for that, Brent. He the first game he played poorly, but the second game he made up for it. But if you talk about in terms of consistency, yeah, he does need to be more consistent. Matter of fact, he played his first game. He played like he did earlier in the season. He was very inefficient, and he was as the brother Ticket was calling him an inefficient shot jacker, which that's pretty much what he was. But he made up for it, and Ima Udoka had pretty much, you know, he stuck with him. Marcus Smart had called him and Jalen Brown out about it, and they were good. Nope, that's false. That's false, Robert Bruce. That's false. He he had 30 last game. Jalen Brown had 29. I mean, look, and I'm more impressed by um I'm more impressed by Jason Tatum's ability to play on both ends of the floor because he is a student of the late great Kobe Bryant, the Mamba. But he shot 50% last game, and he was he was 50% from three and 50% from the mid range or from regular field goal. So how did he not shoot? How did he not shoot? How did he need to step up? Right, and they still were able to win. They still were able to win, and they won because they were knocking shots down. No, I was against. No, no, I think it was against Atlanta. That was against Atlanta, man. Because I got it right here. Let me pull it up. Yeah, here it goes, right here. It was on March the 2nd. Um, it says it was on March the 2nd. It said Brown went down with an apparent ankle injury in the first quarter of the win over the Hawks on Tuesday, and and this was in March the 2nd. Brown stepped on the foot of Hawks forward DeAndre Hunter. The injury was a diagnosed right ankle sprain. That was on March the 2nd against the Hawks. Come on, Robert Bruce, man. Y'all got to come with it, man. Y'all got to come with it. But you were right. Either way, but you are right. I will tell you this, Robert Bruce. You are correct, sir, on the in terms of the hamstring injury. That's something that lingers and not going to go away. That's something that and is not going to go away. You see it affected many different players. I mean, I'm not going to count James Harden because James Harden one day he'll be good, and then the next day he'll act like everything's all right. But if you're scoring 30 and you're dishing out assists and all this other stuff, I don't want to hear anything about your hamstring. You're just making up excuses. But guys like, for instance, Mike Conley Jr. Well, I'm talking about last year. I'm trying to think of some other guys that's having some hamstring issues. Uh, Jalen Brown. Those are some of the other guys that I mean I can't really think of anybody right off the top of my head. But yeah, I don't want to hear any type of excuses, especially from James Harden, because you're telling us you're ready to go. Okay, if this is playoff basketball, you had no problem stepping out there against against Brooklyn when your hamstring was not 100%, and which I gave you props for. But Jalen Brown, yes, it, if he rests him, it is going to be a risk. But I believe that White will step up. White is the type of player like, okay, if you call upon him, he'll do what's necessary for the betterment of the team. You said at the All Star break, Marcus Smart called a players only meeting, and it was very heated, and that's when kind of made up. Yeah, exactly. It was. I mean, and listen, everybody knew about that. That's what I was talking about earlier. They they went ahead and they hashed it out because Marcus Smart was calling Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum out for them shot jacking and not using their team. And Marcus Smart wanted more touches. I don't blame him. Marcus Smart, he's a defensive player of the year, and Marcus Smart is giving you on the offense and the defensive end. Well, at the beginning of the season, they didn't. At the beginning of the season, they did not play. They didn't play terrific, man. I mean, they had some games here and there, but you got to remember they at one point, and maybe True to King will probably correct me on this, but I think they were at 11 at one point, and then they just slowly started to creep up once they started to play better. Some people were even saying to get rid of Tatum and Jalen Brown, but I didn't take it that far. I didn't take it that far, but I did get on Jason Tatum about what he was doing, early in the season, but he made up for it, and I'm glad he did. And on top of that, they needed to buy into what Ima Udoka was doing. It's not sometimes it's not easy to grasp a new coaching. Sometimes it actually takes players more than a season to really grasp the system that they're trying to implement. Sometimes you said Celtics could have won the first game too. They had the worst shooting percentage since the Houston Rockets. Yeah, uh, yeah, they played poorly and they were just much more aggressive. Giannis, even though that he didn't shoot that well because he was 9 of 25, he still was able to facilitate and get his numbers. But the opposite happened the very next night because I mean he was still similar, I should say, rather he was still inefficient, and Giannis did not look like himself. and he played like he didn't have any heart. But I think that they will figure it out. I think that this is 6 or 7. It'll go because these teams they're both playing with chips on their shoulders, and they're more similar than what people may think. Uh, they're both they're both tremendously great defensive teams. They both have knockdown shooters. Now they got some guys that can be inconsistent as well, and they're both scrappy, and they both have chips on their shoulders because Boston is trying to prove that they won't fold again in big moments when it really matters, and Milwaukee is trying to prove to people that they could go ahead and they could get back to the promised land and defend that Larry O'Brien. So other than that, though, y'all let me know what you think, man, in the comment section after watching this video. Make sure y'all like the video, share it, subscribe, hit the notifications so that you'll be notified. Polo Sports Talking Entertainment, and I'm gonna get at y'all later.